The Bible tells us in the book of Ezekiel, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse number 12, "Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of the Lord from His place." Ezekiel was being given a mission by God. God had designed a particular task for him to accomplish, and now God was enabling Ezekiel to do it. The Spirit of the Lord took Ezekiel up, evidently up on the mountaintop. But more importantly, the Spirit of God took Ezekiel into the very presence of God. It was there in God's presence that Ezekiel would find truth. He would find satisfaction. He would find strength, wisdom, courage, resolve, and he would receive direction. Having now spent time in the presence of the Lord, Ezekiel 3:22 says, "And the hand of the Lord was there upon me, and He said unto me, Arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with thee." Why is it that God took Ezekiel up on the mountaintop simply to turn around and send him right back down into the valley? I want us to consider a few thoughts. First of all, when we climb mountains, we find that our focus is consistently on the top of the mountain. As we go through this life of trouble and sorrow, it is important that we keep our focus on the Lord. You see, without having faith that God will bring us to the top of the mountain, or that God will bring us out of our struggles, we ourselves will not be an effective encouragement to others. Secondly, when we climb mountains, we're encouraged as we look back at the ground that under the direction and the enablement of God, we were able to accomplish. Third, when we climb mountains, we find ourselves amazed at the view that we are able to take in when we reach the top of that mountain. You see, these three things all speak of our desire and our experience as we personally move closer into the very presence of God. But I want us to consider one more thought. As God gives us time on the mountaintop, time in His presence, it is easier for us to become aware of the valley and those who are traveling through the valley. We're given a clear view of how to get out of the valley. And under the direction of God, we're commanded to go back down to the valley, where God will then use us to be a blessing and a help to others as we show them the way out of the valley. You see, today, someone is counting on your time with the Lord to help them climb out of the valley so that they can spend some time on the mountaintop. But the success of your valley is determined by your sight from the mountaintop. Won't you determine today to spend some precious quality time in the presence of God, so that when God sends you back into the valley, back into the presence of people in the struggles of life, you can direct them into the presence of God?